Let's talk about traffic in Sydney. I'm a Sydney resident and have given up trying to drive into the CBD because it's just exorbitant cost when it comes to tolls. And when you get there, eventually, it's impossible to find a park. And I'm not the only one with this problem. The NRMA have done a survey of almost 500 fleet companies and found that one of the biggest problems we've now got in Sydney is that delivery drivers can't find anywhere to unload their goods because loading zones have disappeared as bike lanes have taken their place. The survey of more than 458 fleet-running businesses found more than 81% believe congestion across Sydney has worsened in the last year, with more than half reporting their fleets spend 20 to 30 minutes more in traffic every day than they did just a year ago. One operator said he's now got his delivery drivers leaving the depot an hour earlier than they were just a year ago because it's so difficult to find a spot to unload all that you have to deliver. He said he's got trucks literally going around and around the block several times trying to find a space. I was curious when a spokesperson for the City of Sydney Council addressed this problem and said two things. First, well, this is a problem that we're finding right around the world. Oh, well, that's all right then. This is a common problem. Well, we're finding this problem right around the world because right around the world we've got stupid councillors making dumb decisions. That's no excuse for the City of Sydney. But then the council spokesperson came up with this beauty, said, well, the answer is a congestion tax.
Oh,
Don't
that
you
old
love
chestnut.
how they work? They
Yes.
cause congestion with their stupid bike lanes, and then they say, oh, we've got congestion. Well, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to tax people now for driving into the city. What a wonderful scenario that is. But of course, Caleb, it's not a bug, it's a feature,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
This is by design. The City of Sydney Council's own website says that one of their goals, can you believe this, is, and I'm quoting, to decrease personal car ownership. Can you believe that? Clover Moore and her fellow council members have decided one of the reasons that they have been elected is to make sure that fewer of us actually bother to own cars. It goes on to say they believe one of their key goals for being in local government is to motivate residents to walk or to cycle or to take public transport. They want 10% of all trips within the CBD to be by bicycle. They, of course, say that this will have untold environmental benefits. I'm just wondering, when you've got traffic banked up or you've got delivery trucks spewing out emissions going around and around the block repeatedly trying to find a parking space, how that's good for the environment.
Yes, you chew through a lot of fuel while you're idling. it is bad for the environment. And, of course, all the people sitting out having their al fresco coffees as the truck waits to be able to pull in to deliver the coffee beans that can then be ground up for you to drink them. It is insane. How do they think a city operates, right? And Sydney's not getting any smaller. There are millions of people moving to this country, and the vast majority of them go to Sydney or Melbourne. And so that will necessarily, you would think, mean that more people are going to be going into the CBD. So if you've got more people going into the CBD, that means more people who want to go to cafes, people who want to go to restaurants, who want to go to shops, etc. And funnily enough, things have to get into those shops and cafes and restaurants somehow. Now, we haven't worked out how to do it by drone yet, so most of it is done with trucks and vans, and those trucks and vans need somewhere to park, and funnily enough, if they need to supply more things, we may even need more trucks and vans on the road. If Clover Moore had only realised that the answer to all of this was actually to shut the door to immigration, maybe she'd finally get on board with the idea, because then you'd have fewer people coming into Sydney and then you'd have less problems with more vehicles driving around. But yes, this is exactly the point. They design all of this. The bike lanes aren't actually about getting people to ride their bikes. They know that people aren't going to ride their bikes on these bike lanes, or very few people do, because we're not Amsterdam. I mean, Sydney is a big city. Yeah. You don't live at Penrith and then go, oh, whoopee, I'm going to ride into work tomorrow, do you? You either catch public transport if you have a decent service available to you, or if you don't, you drive. You've got no choice. So they just make life as difficult as possible and then charge you as much as possible and say, oh, well, there's nothing we can do about it. They created the problem.
Well, I'd like to know, does Clover Moore ride a bike into work? What is her mode of transport to get to the offices in the city there? That's what I would like to know.